Hey everybody, Szczepanek here. Welcome back to the channel and to Beyond the Notes. Christmas season is officially here, and today is the perfect opportunity to talk about the music, the album, and the videos that started my entire journey here on YouTube. Winter Daydreaming. It was an album that very nearly never happened. I finished my final graduate recital in 2011, and it was a bear of a program to play. The program opened with two Andantes by Paul Arant. The first half ended with Beethoven's Lied Sonata, and then I opened the second half with two Liszt Petrarch sonnets, and followed that up with the Liszt Sonata in B minor. I don't have any video of that recital, of that concert, but I do have some audio I can share with you. It was an ambitious program, to say the least, and the stress and the anxiety of it, especially coming on the heels of my first commercial album, which was Flirting with the Dragon, an album of all classical music, especially coming on the heels of that, it, to be honest, left me in a place where I wasn't sure if I actually really wanted to perform again, at least not anytime soon. Well, a few months after I finished that degree, I started a position at Church of the Ascension in Fountain Hills, Arizona, and I was happily tooling along, and a year passed and then some, and it was December of 2012, and something happened that hadn't happened in a really long time. I sat down at the piano, and for once, I didn't have anything to think about. And so I started playing for fun, of all things, for fun. It started as just improvising and playing some pop tunes, something that I used to do in high school, but that had gotten lost in 6 to 7 years of the rigors of 2 degrees in classical performance. So I started just playing around, improvising, having a good time. And because it was December and because of the Christmas spirit in the air, that gradually led into playing and messing around with Christmas melodies and just seeing what would happen, having a good time with music. The craziest part is that I left the piano bench that day not realizing at all what had just happened, not realizing that I had just sat down for the first time in 7 years to play for fun, not realizing that I had improvised what I thought was some pretty cool stuff. It was actually a week went by before I reflected on that evening at the piano and just exactly what it meant. Before the Christmas season was over that year, I remember telling my boss and pastor, Father John McDonough, about the experience. And again, at the time, I had no idea that this boss-employee relationship that was barely a year old would turn into a great mentorship, 10 years of working together, and a friendship that I won't forget ever. But I digress. As I'd learn in years to come, John is a super patron of the arts, and he is super supportive of the people around him. He encouraged me to pursue whatever this new music was, and of course, as a classically trained musician, I balked, and I thought, my gosh, what are people going to think of me if I write my own music? And what are people going to think of me if I sell out? And what are people going to think of me if I don't just play music by the greats of the past? I was actually scared of this fallout that I perceived I was going to have from the community of musicians that I had grown closest to. Well, John's persistence eventually swayed me, and before December was over, before Christmas of 2012 was over, I had written 6 new Christmas arrangements. And then the next month, January of 2013, I had another 5 arrangements done to make 11 total. 2 months later, in March of that year, I recorded the album that has become known today as Winter Daydreaming. So you may be asking why, oh why are we talking about this ancient history, this stuff from 8, 9, 10 years ago? Why are we talking about it? Well, it's because Star of Wonder, my latest release here on YouTube, is actually a piece of music that was arranged for that album, for Winter Daydreaming. I had never shot a video for it. I had never even transcribed the sheet music until just this year, but we're getting ahead of ourselves by a little bit. This album, Winter Daydreaming, was my first official attempt at writing and arranging music. And that Christmas season, Christmas of 2013, when it was released, people absolutely loved it. So not only was it a great success as far as arranging and writing goes, but it also led to my first public performance 2.5 years after that bear of a graduate recital. Okay, a lot has happened in the meantime, but in 2016, after being a fan of the Piano Guys for a handful of years, I decided I was gonna go out on a limb and shoot videos, 2 videos for my 2 favorite arrangements from Winter Daydreaming. So I picked What Child Is This and Carol of the Bells. And $5,000, and a few months later I had 2 videos out, and I excitedly put them out on YouTube in hopes that I was going to drum up maybe a little bit of following, maybe there's going to be some people that enjoy the music. And to my surprise, before Christmas season of 2016 was over, Carol of the Bells had over 100,000 views that year. And it was at that moment in time that I thought to myself, this could be a thing, this could be a real thing that I do. Well, you can look back through the videos on the channel and see where things have come since that point in time, but it was this music and this album that was really where it all started. From writing down some chord changes on a few scraps of paper to 2 super late night recording sessions from 9 p.m. until about 2 in the morning, and a friend who encouraged me to do something that I would have never done if it were just left up to me. If this is your first time hearing Star of Wonder, I hope you enjoyed it. And if you know the music from Winter Daydreaming, whether that's the last few years or 8 years, all the way since the album came out, I hope you enjoy this new take, this new recording of a song it's one of my favorites from the album, and I'd love to hear if it's one of your favorites as well. Thanks for taking this journey with me through 10 years of life and experiences that have really led us to where we are today, to this moment, talking to you right now. So thanks for taking the journey with me, and I look forward to seeing you next time.